It is a real honor to be with you today as you celebrate this accomplishment, and make no mistake about it, it is an accomplishment, one that you will remember, as I have, for the rest of your lives. So before I say anything else, let me just say congratulations to each and every one of you who now join a legion of individuals who are Boise State graduates and who have gone on to do extraordinary things in their lives. I am proud to be one of those Boise State graduates. I did not wind up being elected a senator going to Boys Nation. So for all of you who ran for higher office and didn't achieve it, I say don't worry, you too can be elected a United States Senator. If it happened for me, it can happen for you. It can happen because no matter who you are, if you keep going, keep trying, keep learning as you have here today, someday you can rise to be governor or a United States Senator. In fact, as I look out at this collection of young men, I think that there is a great opportunity that there might be very well a future president of the United States in this audience. It is time that we had another New Jersey native president, more recent than Grover Cleveland, and maybe it will be one of you, and I certainly hope it is. I remember Boise State well. I remember it was a great chance to learn the art of engagement, of public speaking, a chance to appreciate the art of compromise. It was, in effect, a real hands-on civic lesson. And more than anything, I am thankful for the people I met, all those who went on to do amazing things, many who are still dear friends to me to this day. It is something I urge you to do, to keep in contact and make sure you have the contact information of those you met and be able to keep in contact with them and engage with them. You will find that they have in the future be some extraordinary friends, some extraordinary assets. I grew up poor in a tenement in Union City, the first in my family to go to college. If you told me when I was your age, sitting there, that I could go on to be only one of 100 United States senators in a country of 300 billion people, I would have told you it probably wouldn't happen. But in fact, it is a promise of America fulfilled. I was fortunate enough to get a big push towards a life of service early on from Boise State, and a big taste of the kind of promise the United States of America can hold. A promise that we can serve this great nation of ours no matter how much or how little money our family has, no matter our religious tradition, no matter the color of our skin, no matter the station we have in life. I have often told this story because I think it speaks of the power of an individual being able to make change. But not long after I graduated from Boise State, I was then going on to college, and at 19 I led a drive to lead a reform movement at my local school district. I was told when I was a senior in high school that because of my grades and my participation, I could be in the senior honors program, but that I had to come up with $200 for the books. My parents were poor, we didn't have $200 for the books, and I couldn't understand for the life of me if I had the grades and the ability and all of the activities that I'd be barred from being in the honors program because of the lack of money in a public school district. And so I created such a ruckus that they gave me the books, told me to shut up, and put me in the honors program. But I didn't feel right about that. I didn't feel right about that because I had friends who had the ability and the grades and also should have been in the program, but in fact they said nothing, did not get in, and therefore did not have that opportunity. And so when I graduated, I started a petition drive to change the school board from one that was appointed by a very corrupt mayor to one that was elected by the public. Spent a long, hot summer, like it's hot here today, getting thousands of signatures on a petition to change the school board to a referendum. put the referendum on the ballot, passed the referendum, and then ran for the first school board elections in my hometown at the age of 20. And at that time, I actually picked a term that a priest, who in those days were allowed to run for public office, picked, and ended up running against each other. And I won that election, for which I'm still paying in church today, but that was 36 years ago. And it began my sense of being able to change the course of events, hopefully for the better. I was lucky enough to see America's promise fulfilled for me. And now I work in the United States Senate hard every day to make sure that promise exists for all of you and for future generations of Americans. Its promise we're all going to have to work hard to protect. We've seen too often that it doesn't come easily. Democracy and the ideals upon which it are built are hard. We have to work at it collectively. This week, I think you learned some of the challenges that our own state has. You learned how exhausting and difficult it can be to deal with them, but that very often coming together, listening to each other, exchanging ideas and understanding differences, but ultimately finding common ground brings solutions within our grasp. The challenges facing our nation in this 21st century are even more immense and complex. Your generation must address climate change, end our dependence on fossil fuels, move towards a greener, smarter energy future that doesn't foul the oceans, as we see in the Gulf of Mexico. Your generation must use new technologies wisely to keep us at the apex of the curve of innovation. It will be up to you to help us solve age-old conflicts in the Middle East and deal with new threats and terrorism around the world. It will be up to you to show tolerance, respect, and civility towards others who may have differing views from yours. Those who hold to their principles and values as firmly as you hold on to yours, but whose core humanity we hold in common. You will have to face the complex issues of war and peace, as every generation has, prosperity and progress, human suffering, and man's inhumanity to man, as we see in Darfur. You will all have to face these challenges and many more maybe we can't even imagine today. But when it comes to each of those, one thing is clear: our country needs you. You will have to rise to the challenges of this new century with all the wisdom and understanding you can muster. And my sincere hope for all of you is that you will hold on to what you have learned here, take it with you far beyond these walls. I believe it will serve you well, and it will show you the way. With the challenges we're facing now at home and around the world, I sincerely believe that the history of this new American century is being written right now. And you're the ones who are going to get to write most of its chapters. I hope that each of you takes that task seriously, that you'll continue to work to see this great nation remains a place of infinite possibility. A place where if we work hard, if we give back to our community, then everyone's American dreams can become reality. There are many ways to serve to make that happen. You've learned this week about serving in government. The proud veterans who worked so hard for you to be here and who worked so courageously so that our democracy could be enjoyed by all of us are a testament to the honor and dignity of serving in our armed forces. Our schools are crying out for the services of dedicated teachers. The safety of our community depends on brave police, firefighters, and first responders. Our hospitals need doctors, nurses, and technicians to keep us healthy and whole. Our places of worship need clergy to lift our spirits and give us hope in our darkest hours. And more than that, our cities and towns, our neighborhoods and families need people like you to keep the spirit of community alive in this country. The need for each of us to work together for the betterment of all of us. We're all very fortunate to live in a country where even if nothing is handed to you, you can achieve great things for yourselves and others through the power of your intellect, the strength of your own hands, and the dream of something better. In the end, you'll be judged by how you use these gifts and how you reach out to others in doing so. You may not have the most expensive clothing, or the latest cell phone, or the fanciest, newest iPad, or whatever comes next. But if you have a goal, if you've got the smarts, if you have the heart, and you're willing to put in the sweat, and yes, sometimes the tears, you can achieve great things for yourself, for your family, and your community. I believe the possibilities are endless. 42 years ago this month, our nation lost Robert F. Kennedy to an assassin's hateful bullet. Written on his gravestone are words he once spoke in South Africa, a country that then was suffering under apartheid and today hosts the World Cup. It is a moving quote which I have always remembered. He said, "Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." Robert Kennedy believed in the power of youth to change our world for the better, no matter how small we might think our contribution is. So I want to echo his message today and remove any doubt in your mind that if you put your mind and heart to it, you will be a powerful force for change. Not next week, not in a few years once you've graduated college, but right now, starting right here. The power of youth has always shaped our history as a nation. When an opponent accused Robert's brother John Kennedy of not being experienced enough to lead our nation, he said, one, to exclude from positions of trust and command all those below the age of 44 would have kept Thomas Jefferson from writing the Declaration of Independence, Washington from commanding the Continental Army, Madison from fathering the Constitution, and Christopher Columbus from even discovering America. So government alone won't discover a new source of energy. It won't design a fuel-efficient car or develop a cure for the Alzheimer's that took my mother's life last October. Those breakthroughs will come through service in other fields. But government can play a part. It's about setting the right priorities to allow those breakthroughs to happen. And so we just don't get the government we deserve, we get the government we work for. Our participation makes all the difference in the world. We need a new generation of young, smart, energized leadership to get us where we need to go. Every generation renews its commitment to serving our communities, to creating a more perfect nation, to defending the values on which our country was built and on which it will continue to grow. We will need not just new public servants, but new approaches. Not just new slogans and speeches, but fresh ideas and energy. A new belief in the possibilities of what this country can become. I've always believed that America's greatness lies in its people. And we are at our greatest when we work together, when we look past the next election to the next generation, when we combine our talents, insights, and dreams for causes greater than ourselves. That's the spirit that has made this nation the greatest nation on the face of the earth. This is the country that made it through a Great Depression, that fought and won 2 world wars, defeated Nazism, fascism, and rebuilt Europe under the Marshall Plan. It is a country that cured diseases one thought to be incurable. It lit up the world with a light bulb here at Menlo Park with Thomas Edison, put a man on the moon, launched industrial and technological revolutions that shook the globe. So if we stay true to that spirit and those principles that have always made us great, together there's nothing we can't accomplish. My friends, you're an exceptional group. Understand that you came here from thousands of students across this state in a unique opportunity and a unique responsibility. From every corner of New Jersey, from wealthy families and working class families, from the urban streets of Newark to the farms of Salem County. Whether you spend your life working in government or take another path, Just remember that justice is always within your reach. Change is always within the realm of possibility, and a better world is yours for the making. If you remember that, and if you continue to act on it, as I know and hope you will, what awaits you is nothing less than a lifetime of service and honor and fulfillment. My congratulations to you. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States.